Hi guys, it's Kelly and I'm back with another video for W+9. Today I'm going to be using a holiday stamp to make a spring card. So we're just going to be combining some stamp sets to work for us. I'm using the Love Showers Layers die. I'm using the tag die from that. The sentiment is from Happy Wishes. The main focal point is from this holiday set called Silver Bells. You can see it there in the middle. I wanted to use that to make a spring card. And then, of course, the ever popular fresh cut florals, which mine is well loved, you can see. So I've already cut out the tag from some white paper from W+9. And then the vellum, I apologize, I had a little bit of technical difficulty with the camera this time around. And I'm showing you the W+9 one. I just grabbed it. It was wrong. I'm stamping in Memento Tuxedo Black ink because it's Copic safe. We'll be using the W+9 black dye ink for our sentiment later on. But anyway, I had camera issues this time around, and I'm not really sure where that footage went. It disappeared. It was carried away. So, for the vellum, I actually laid the tag die down on top of it and traced the outer edge so that I would have a piece when I fussy cut it that was slightly larger than the tag that I die cut. So that's how I got that, and then I just used an X-Acto knife to cut out the hole because I didn't have a hole punch. Like just a regular size office hole punch. Yeah, I don't own one apparently. So here what I'm doing is I have taken the stem and the smaller flowers and I'm stamping them. The stem was stamped in W+9's Last Leaf, and then this is the Sweet Nectar, which is right up there with Sweet Gelato is one of my favorite colors. Like I think it's beautiful. And I had picked out a light pink peach coral. I'm not really sure what it is exactly. Some pattern paper, which is actually from Create a Smile, and I apologize. It was part of a card kit, and I don't know that that's available anymore. If it is, if the paper is available separately, I'll link to that, but I don't know that it is. So I stamped my stems, my flowers, and there is a single flower that's included in the fresh cut florals, but it is a large one, and I wanted to fill in with some of the smaller ones, so I'm just inking up using the corner of the Sweet Nectar ink pad and then using a baby wipe to just clean up anywhere that it got on the other flowers. I like when my images match, so I wanted these to be outlined just like the bell is outlined. So I'm using a smaller nib, a 0.05 Copic multi-liner to outline them. Now this is not the size it's going to stay, but I needed to start somewhere, and I didn't want to outline them too dark. So I outlined all of them with 0.05, knowing I'm going to go back. Here, with the coloring of the bell, since we want them appear to be metallic, most metal is polished, so there's not going to be a whole lot of, I guess, feathering. It's going to be more stripes. So you want to make sure that you have colors that will blend well together, that are going to be close enough that there's not going to be a huge line of demarcation. So basically I just picked where my highlight was going to be, started adding my lightest color to both the left and the right. For this particular bell, I was looking at the light source coming from the top right. I just thought that, that's how I always do my light source. I know it's not. I know I'm never switching it up, and for those of you who like to do your light source from the top left, watching my videos probably is not helpful, so I apologize, but that's just the way that is most comfortable for me. And I don't really switch it up. So here with the underneath of the bell, the further back it would be, the darker the shading would be. It would be lighter towards the front where the light was actually getting to it. And then here you can see me using my pen trying to figure out where the highlight would be hitting if it was coming from the top right. And I won't lie to you, basically this is all just a guessing game for me. It's all just a guessing game for me. But at the end of it, I was happy with the way it looked. So that's really my only barometer for whether or not I'm happy with the shadows. Is as long as it looks normal, then I'm good with it. And I call it a day. So here I went a little heavier with the C7 that I did on the first one because this belt is tucked behind the other one. And you can see I'm just doing stripes of color. I'm not really feathering. I'm letting the markers blend, and they blend really beautifully on the W+9 paper. For a long time I didn't use it. It's so embarrassing. For a long time I didn't use it, and Dawn was like, "Why aren't you using this?" And I was like, "I don't like," not in a mean way, but she was like, "You would like it. You should really use it." So I did, and then she was right. And I don't know why I didn't do it for so long. But I won't be making that mistake in the future. Here for the bow, this is completely my bad. While I was shooting this video, I was on the phone with a girlfriend. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. I had worked quite a bit. So none of that is fun, but I got distracted and I forgot to show you what colors I was using. So I'm going to tell you. It is R00, R20, and R32. I wanted to keep it really light. I wanted to keep, to match that pink paper, that pink coral paper I had already picked out. So I wanted to keep my bow really light. This is sometimes a struggle for me because I do like the bolder colors. The first time I colored this, I did go too dark, and then it did look like Christmas, because that's what it was intended to be, right? So I wanted to make sure that I was really, really light-handed. For the flowers, I didn't do really much shading at all. I'm going over all the flowers in R20, just to make sure with my outlining that everything was filled in. But I'm not doing any real shading, and I'm just adding a little bit of the R32 more towards the center of the flower. These are really tiny. You don't need a ton of blending. It's just not necessary, and I think you would even have to worry about them bleeding outside of your lines if you tried to put too much color in them. So I used a Y00 just to color in the centers, and then I'm going to do the greenery. When I did the outline, I added some stems amongst the flowers, just so it looked, I guess, normal. It looked, like cohesive. Some of them needed to have just little teeny tiny stems, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I just drew little loops. So it wasn't anything that was like terribly artistic, but it was something to just get a little bit of green in there and break it up so that my flowers didn't look like they were just floating in space. With the branches that were already there, again, they're smaller. I didn't really feel like there needed a ton of shading, so I just really added it basically just down the middle and then called it a day. So here now I usually re-outline all of my images, and now that's what I'm doing. I'm going back in with a EK Success journaling pen, and I'm going to outline everything, which will also make the flowers thicker. So when you see them now, you can tell that they're a little bolder, and it's because the nib that I used on the journaling pen was wider. I'm going to use the W+9 Pure Black dye ink to stamp my sentiment. It's my favorite sentiment or my favorite ink to stamp sentiments in. It's just really crisp, never lets me down. And then I had originally thought I was going to use the Happy Wishes on your special day on the outside, but I just really didn't like the way it looked, so I ended up stamping that on the inside to complete my card. For, when you're, I imagine giving this to somebody for their wedding. Here, you'll see I'm not using my normal Tombow Mono multi-glue. It was like break in case of emergency the other night. It was 11 o'clock at night. I ran out of glue. I had to go to Walmart. This is what they had. I don't even know what random brand this is, but I will link you to a tape runner I have used before that was much, much better than this one. So I'm putting it together. I'm just using a white card base, and my cardstock, my pattern paper is trimmed a quarter of an inch smaller, so it's 4 by 5 1/4. And then here I almost adhered my tag without adding any twine. I was just like so, I don't even know, distracted, I guess. So I added that little bit of vellum in the back, just, because it is a wedding card. I wanted it to be a little bit softer. And then I'm just using some natural twine to finish the tag off. And I just tucked my little edges right behind it. I'm going to add some clear Wink of Stella for some shimmer. I added it to the bells and then also to the individual flowers. And that was pretty much the card. It was really simple. It allows me to use my holiday stamps in the spring just by kind of switching it up and adding some florals to it. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye!